Yo, Jack! You're gonna like this. Come here.
Insects. These tiny animals are among some of the most plentiful and diverse organisms on Earth, inhabiting just about every ecosystem on the planet. Their success means they are found in great numbers in their respective habitats, and sadly, this has not gone unnoticed by the rest of the animal kingdom. Birds, lizards, frogs, spiders, and yes, even other insects prey on these creatures. And it's gotten so bad, an entirely different group of organisms set their sights on insects as food. Deep in the swamps of northern Florida, I've heard tales of an organism that is armed to the teeth. A group of living things designed to lure in unsuspecting prey and brutally predate them without even having to hunt. If you're an insect, turn away now. The rest of this video may be too unbearable to watch. My name is Jack, and I've dedicated my entire life to traveling all over the globe to find the strangest and most dangerous organisms alive. I'm willing to get in close where others wouldn't dare in order to uncover and share the truth about even our most misunderstood and feared creatures. Today I'm joined by friend and fellow YouTuber Spencer, and we are on a mission to find one of the strangest groups the planet has to offer: carnivorous plants. So basically, folks, as we kind of search through these different ecosystems for carnivorous plants, we might find ourselves in some habitat much like this. Carnivorous plants need usually a lot of water and a lot of sunlight. So a lot of times these kind of boggier, wetter ecosystems in these pinier woods are perfect. I'm hoping we can see maybe some sundews, maybe some pitcher plants, and maybe even possibly the rarest of the rare in the carnivorous plant world. So we're gonna, get moving, get walking, get hiking, and we're gonna see what all we can get. Basically, we're just gonna be scanning good habitat, ample areas, and we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled because some of these plants might be really, really difficult for us to spot right at the get-go. But we're gonna get rolling, and gosh, wish us luck. To find these plants, we'll have to traverse dense swamplands. The organisms we're looking for need lots of water and sunlight to survive, as well as a decently open area to grow in and to attract insects. We know we have a good chance for some of the more common species today, but there's one in particular we've heard rumors about being out here. A species known far and wide by humans and unlucky insects alike. We'll have to press on to find the holy grail of carnivorous plants, but this habitat looks great for a plethora of different species. All right, I think I've just spotted our first carnivorous plant. Right down here is the fantastic Sarracenia. This is a species of pitcher plant. And you might be looking at this going, Jack, what is going on, dude? This looks like crap. This is horrible. This is dead already. I want to see something fresh and nice and cool. Well, my friends, I'm sorry to say, I won't be able to deliver that on these lovely Sarracenia. These plants are incredibly seasonal. And so what you're seeing right now is no different than some of these trees here turning color with their leaves and letting those leaves fall. This is autumn. This is winter for these pitcher plants. This root ball down here is safe and sound underneath this nutrient-deficient, acidic soil, and it will stay there dormant all winter. And then when spring returns, these virile, fresh new pitchers will erupt out of the ground, and this whole little patch here will be full of probably 20 or 30 fresh new pitchers that'll be attracting all those insects and things. So not the prettiest carnivorous plant we could have come across first, but a really good sign, a really good indication that there is there's some carnivorous plant life out here, and hopefully our day is filled with some more diversity and maybe some nicer looking finds. After hours of searching, we tried an area with a few sinks or groundwater ponds. Within minutes, we spotted a massive mat of sundews. These plants were easy to spot with those bright colors, and although they weren't the holy grail we were after, they were a welcome addition to our adventure. Okay, I can already see from right here that characteristic, that bloody pink color of these delicious sundews. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, there's like 100 of them! Look at this, folks! I don't want to step on them. There are so many of these sundews. Can you see all that pink blanketing on top of this dark, dark soil? Oh my gosh, folks! There are so many sundews here. Now, sundews are really, really cool. They get that name, sundew, because at the end of all these tiny miniature stalks at the end of their petals, they have these sticky globs of nectar. And so insects go, "Hey, Thomas, I think somebody's opened a can of Coca-Cola down the street. Let's go check it out." And then Thomas goes, "You're right, Billy, smells good out here. Somebody just left delicious droplets of food all over these plants for us. Let's go check it out." They get here and they're just as excited as I am. They're like, "Buffet! Buffet!" They start checking it out. They're rubbing their little fly hands together, going, and cleaning their eyes, doing that fly thing. And they're going, I can't wait to have a bite of this. And then they land on that petal. And they're going, oh man, my arm is stuck. Oh, now my back is stuck on here. And they just get enveloped by these droplets, and the sundew goes, curls up around. All those little tendrils fold towards the bug, depositing more of those droplets. It's not free food, folks. It is digestive, sticky trap juice. These amazingly intricate and adapted carnivorous plants secrete the most tempting of droplets to attract insects, and that is the last thing these insects are able to get a hold of and eat. And that's pretty gnarly. They basically dissolve their insect prey with this tantalizing nectar slurry, and it is not a good way to go for Timmy or Thomas and whatever I said the other one's name was. It's irrelevant. They've been eaten by sundews now. So we've been scanning swamps. We've been scanning, ephemeral ponds. We've been scanning, limey sinks. And so far, I mean, there's not a whole lot we can really say. We found our little dried up, pitcher plants, but I'm really hoping to nail down some more stuff than that. So we're gonna move in right here behind the camera. We've got some really cool habitat, and hopefully it turns up a little bit more than what we've been seeing so far, because, oh man, we're getting freaking beat up by the Florida wilderness out here. And we're not really seeing what we would like to see. I don't know. It's good habitat. It's nice and soggy. Nice and carnivorous planty over here. I'm just not seeing anything else. After pressing on, I was beginning to get discouraged. As cool as the other species were to see, there was still one that we were hoping to find that we had not seen yet. Just when we were getting ready to head back to the car, I heard Spencer shout that he had found something.
Yo, Jack! Yeah, what you got? You're gonna like this. Come here. No, oh, wait, I want to show him. I can't wait to see his reaction. I cannot wait to see this. Come here. Come here.
Oh my God, it's like
hundreds of them.
It's a huge mat of Venus flytraps. Whoa, man. I thought maybe we would see like, one or two plants. This is like, golly, this is like 100 plants easily. I'm making sure.
Yeah, I'm walking over here. I'm walking over here. I know you said that they might be out.
Oh.
I'm like, that's not supposed to be here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, folks.
And
the Venus flytrap. This is a species of carnivorous plant that is endemic, meaning it only exists in North and South Carolina naturally. But I was actually reading up on some introduced populations here in Florida. But I was like so much like, oh, that's just such a pipe dream. We're not going to be able to find any. And if we were going to be able to find it, I thought just like 1 or 2 plants. This is literally hundreds of plants right here. Thousands of traps.
Yeah. So these are native to where I'm from in North Carolina. You don't see them like this anymore. Like, this is
ridiculous, dude. I can't believe this. Oh man! Wow. I think we're gonna hunker down here for a little bit and get some footage of quite literally the rarest, coolest, most fantastic, most special, most amazing, most wonderful, most friendship bonding species of plants out here. Because oh my gosh!
We had done it. The uncommon and rare introduced population of Venus flytraps. This was exactly what we were hoping to find. These plants can only be found naturally growing in their native range and a few small introduced pockets outside of it. So to have stumbled on this massive population of flytraps was truly an amazing stroke of luck.
All right, folks. So take a look here. We're just lounging next to our I think this is probably the best plant find of my YouTube career, Spencer.
Definitely mine.
This is insane. We're literally sitting right next to hundreds of Venus flytraps, which is really cool because we're not even in the state where they're from. This is an introduced population, which is why we're able to get so close to these, because in their native North and South Carolinas, they'll freaking gun you down in the street if you even try and look for a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, you do this in North Carolina, you end up on the news.
Like, it's really cool to basically have the privilege of seeing these amazing plants in the wild, even though this is an introduced population, because we're able to get so close and show you guys so many cool things about these amazing, amazing, amazing plants. These are not tropical plants. These are not existing hundreds or thousands of miles away in some far-off jungle somewhere in the tropics. These are temperate plants, and not only that, they are endemic. They only exist in the eastern United States, only in 2 states naturally, and they've been introduced to 2 more, New Jersey and Florida, where we find ourselves today. So this was quite literally the craziest thing we could have done, the craziest plant we could have found. These amazing Venus flytraps. And they're so cool, man. They're so cool.
It's kind of surreal, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm out here walking, I'm like, is that what I think it is? Surely not.
We've been hiking for too long, not finding anything, we're just making stuff up.
Ate some funny mushrooms. That's why we're laying on the ground here.
Right.
It's not nothing to do with the framing.
Nothing to do with trying to figure out how to get Venus flytraps and our ugly mugs in the shot at the same time. Nothing like that. We're just like going crazy.
Yeah.
In the Florida wilderness.
Like, I can actually see you through the camera right now. It's unusual.
We're watching you. We're watching you watching us.
Yeah,
watching you.
I see you. I see what you just did.
I saw you sitting there getting more and more scared, starting to look around like I'm seeing you moving around and starting to... It's okay.
We come in peace.
We come in peace. We are but the bearers of the flytraps. And we are here to merely share the wonder of the carnivorous plant world with you.
Speaking of that, I think we should actually give them some scientific facts now.
Yeah, I guess.
It is shocking to see the sheer level of hollow carcasses and exoskeletons of the unlucky invertebrates that have found themselves within the maw of these plants. These truly are one of the deadliest traps here in the swamp for these insects, as they don't look anything like the typical predators of these animals. When you're constantly keeping your eyes peeled for birds and frogs, the last thing you'd expect to eat you is a plant. These carnivorous plants are a true scourge to the insects of this ecosystem, and show once again how deadly the world is to our tiny little friends.
They have these fancy leaves that look kind of like really scary mouths, but they actually work in a really interesting way. See, you or I, we move using muscles, right? But how do muscles work? Muscles actually use little ions, little charged particles to actually signal contraction. That's what causes the movement. Your brain sends a message electronically through your body, and then that sparks these little charged particles to make your muscles move. Funny enough, the flytrap actually works the same way. See, it has these little tiny trigger hairs in that leaf. If I'm a little insect crawling, looking for things to eat, and I smell, ooh, this leaf smells really good. Delicious even. And I wander into the leaf, and I'm looking to see, where is this delicious smell coming from? And as I'm sniffing around with my antennae, just kind of feeling around,
knocking around,
the next thing you know is one of my feet trips one of the hairs, and that sends a flood of these ions through the leaf. Now, one trigger won't close the trap, because what happens if like a leaf or something fell, right? Then you'd be closing all your traps.
Be false positive, and then you'd be,
starving.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the nutrients.
It'd be like if you and I were like, if the trigger for eating was like air, we'd just be eating air and we'd starve to death, right?
You couldn't do it.
So the trap needs a second trigger to guarantee that it is in fact an insect inside the leaf. So as I'm sniffing around, like, where is this smell coming from? Oh, my antenna trips another hair. Next thing you know, the trap closes.
And they close pretty fast. I mean, the majority of the insects that these fly traps are catching, I mean, they're bringing in wasps, they're bringing in flies, they're bringing in, of course, other terrestrial insects. But a lot of these insects are capable of flying away. So the second that two of those little hairs are triggered, the fly traps close very quickly, and they have those elongate spines to help ensnare insects that maybe almost were able to escape that reflex. And then they slowly interlock and close. And then once those specialized leaves are closed, they kind of push down on the invertebrate that they've ensnared and secrete some digestive enzymes and start to break down and basically scrap the animal's body for basic minerals and extra stuff that they would like to have to help them grow. Of course, they can still photosynthesize. They can, of course, still pull nutrients from their soil, but it's a really cool way to basically sequester extra stuff. Because, we could survive on rice and beans and stuff, but, sometimes you want to the Admiral's Feast at Red Lobster and some of those succulent biscuits, and these fly traps, they're really no different. They like to add a little bit of diversity. They like to eat a few more things than just, whatever little crumbs they can find in this swampy soil.
They're just like us. They want something a bit more tasty than just the nutrients from dirt.
That's right.
As dangerous as frogs, spiders, and even lizards can be to insects, I think if I were to be eaten, I'd prefer to go out that way rather than being slowly digested by these plants. They are truly the closest you can get on Earth to the Sarlacc from Star Wars. They lie in wait for prey to stray too close before trapping it and slowly digesting it, sometimes over multiple days. Makes other insect predators seem almost merciful. In a competitive and harsh reality for survival, organisms have to survive by any means necessary. These adaptations are some of the coolest and most unique, but it's important to remember that they aren't malicious in nature. Although it's a brutal way for insects to go out, it's a fascinating adaptation in plants that goes to show on our diverse and life-filled planet, anything can be possible.
Now, what's really, really cool, and something you might not think about with carnivorous plants, you go, okay, so it's kind of like there's turntables that have turned there with insects falling prey to the plants instead of the other way around. But hang on, Jack. Aren't insects pretty crucial in plant pollination? Is that something that carnivorous plants need as well? I'd say, friend, that's an amazing question, and you are absolutely right. Carnivorous plants, like many species of plants all over the world, rely on insects to be pollinated. So then we're thinking, hang on. Seems a little counterintuitive if all of the pollinating insects that show up to help these fly traps reproduce, procreate, spread, they're gonna get eaten. They're gonna fall prey to the succulent, delicious smelling traps right down here. Well, my friends, what might look like just dead, decaying bit of grass here. This is an old flower stalk. So when these Venus flytraps flower, they send out this huge stalk, right? This right here, I mean, this is every bit of maybe 8 inches tall. Sometimes it can be even taller than this. And then all these little flowers up top say, hey, it's okay, insects. It's okay, pollinators. Come up here. This is where the party's at. This is where the pollen is. And then these are able to be pollinated by insects without risking competing with those pollinators by eating them and then basically, screwing themselves over and not being able to spread and get pollinated and be able to form their seeds.
If you're enjoying this video, try checking out this one here. In this video, I travel deep into the lush jungles of far north Queensland on the hunt for a true living dinosaur. This was easily not only one of my favorite videos I've filmed to date, but potentially one of my most dangerous adventures. Check out this video by clicking the video card or the video description below for that link. I hope to see you there. It's a great watch.
Well, I think our carnivorous plant adventure was what some might consider to be a raging, incredible, engorged success.
I think I would agree.
I think that most might agree. I think the people at home would agree. I think that world-renowned scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson would agree. I think everyone who you could show this video to would agree. But yeah, this was a great outing and ridiculously successful. We had a great time coming out here and filming these fantastically beautiful, intricate, and so amazingly adapted Venus flytraps.
And these poses we're in are about as comfortable as they look.
Yep, my neck is starting to lock up, so my friends, this is about all the time I've got for you today if I don't want to go and have to see an emergency chiropractor out here in the Florida wilderness. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you learned something about these fantastic carnivorous plants. And if I can leave you with anything, I hope I can leave you with this. This planet, it's chock full, straight to the brim of some of the coolest organisms that have ever lived. And a lot of them, like these Venus flytraps here, are kind of imperiled. Their natural range has seen a lot of destruction, and these species have really needed and required people to kind of give them these kind of artificial strongholds like where we are here in North Florida, just to make sure that this species doesn't become lost into the void of extinction forever. So just want to leave you with a little bit of appreciation for some of these amazing creatures that have basically taken evolution to the extreme and forged their own way into survival. So we love our lovely little Venus flytraps. I hope that you learned some fantastic stuff about them. I hope you enjoyed our wonderful carnivorous plant adventure collaboration with Spencer from My Wild Backyard here. If you don't already follow Spencer, which you likely already do, if you're anybody who's doing anything with your life, please go and check him out. He's got some great stuff, and you'll get to see his wonderful Venus flytrap adventure over on his channel. Once again, My Wild Backyard. I will attach the link somewhere, but you can also just search him up. He's, we're kind of niche internet micro celebrities together, so you just Google us and you'll be able to find us. But thanks so much for tuning in today. Thank you, Spencer, for finding these Venus flytraps on our adventure. And be sure, folks, if you enjoyed this, to tune in next time for the next episode of Jack's World of Wildlife. But until then, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
And brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth,
you. I'm
please.
seeing you.